How's it going, Kevin? Happy Tuesday.
What's going on, Garrett? Happy Tuesday.
Not too much. Almost a Q4. It's hard to believe where the time has gone.
I know the year is absolutely flying by. It's almost for October now. Got fall weather coming up, all the pumpkin and apple foods coming out.
There we go. I was gonna say snow is coming, but not for you. So
Nah, yeah, it's whenever I go back to Connecticut and see snow, it's like, man, I kind of miss it. I like having like one snowstorm a year.
yeah, I hear you. Well, great. We got a nice power session today on schedule values and pay apps. Just kind of a brief description. So show you how to set up and manage the SOVs and pay apps in ProNovos. So really you can create a smoother billing workflow and reduce that back and forth between the teams, I guess. So with
Yep.
that being said, maybe we'll let's jump in there and I'll fire a few questions your way and we'll go from there.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what would you say the difference is between pay apps and invoices?
Yeah, so the pay apps are basically going to be the drafts that you're going to want to submit to your client for approval. And then the invoices is going to be the actual data that comes from the accounting system. So as you sync your data with the accounting system, the invoices are going to be the data that you actually want to review. So that's what these two tabs reflect here. The invoices are the data coming from your accounting system, and then the pay apps is basically what you're actually submitting to your client for approval.
Sure. Okay. Nice and easy to navigate there between the tabs. I like it. Uh, I guess what's the first thing you need to do when submitting pay apps, in your opinion?
So the first thing is going to be you're going to create your schedule values. So this is basically going to be your guide throughout the project where basically these are the different line items that you're going to submit your billings for across. So when you go into your schedule values here, you're going to create the descriptions for all the different line items that you're going to have on the project. And then you're going to set the contract value for each line item. And then down at the bottom here, there's basically this check here to make sure that the sum of your schedule values is matching that contract amount. So this is usually the first step you're going to do at the beginning of each project is set up that schedule of values that you'll then bill against for each given month.
Sure. Yeah, I like that. Gives you the total at the bottom there. Now what do each of the rows reflect there in that pay app
Yeah, so
section?
basically, obviously, in construction, you're going to submit a progress pay app every month. So what we do is we look at the start date and the end date of your project, and we're basically going to create a row or a pay app for each month. So you can see here, the project is starting in July, it ends in December. So we have a row for each month of the project.
Certainly. Looks like we have a question there, Kevin. Do you want to hold off till the end or address it in the middle?
Yeah, we'll get all the questions at the end.
Definitely. So how do I go about creating a pay app?
Yeah, so when you want to actually submit a payout for each month, you can select on the given month. You'll see the schedule of values, the contract value for each. If you've billed anything from the previous pay app, it will show this here. And then you would go in and just enter either the percent complete against each one, or when you've completed this period, it will calculate the balance remaining, the retention, and then you can submit and just approve it.
I like it nice and easy, like the forecast and the whip. Easy to enter your
Yep.
details there. So what's included in the pay app section?
Yeah, so this down here, you'll see included pay apps. So this is basically going to tell you if any of your subcontractors have submitted a pay app to you in a given month, it's going to list out all those below. So obviously when you are submitting your pay app to your client, you want to make sure that you are including all the pay apps that you've gotten from your subs. So you're basically passing those billings through. So it's just going to list out any subs that have submitted pay apps to you in a month.
Perfect. Now, how do I set up a sub to submit these pay apps?
Yeah, so if you look at we're at the billings module right here, so basically you would just go to the payables module and it has the same two tabs, the invoices pay apps. So again, all the invoices is coming from the accounting system. The pay apps is what your subs would actually submit through the portal. So if you go to the month selector here and select schedule of values, you can add basically the contract value, the retention, who you want to assign it to, the due date for the schedule of values. And then that way you can invite the subs into ProNovos. They would have a limited access to it where they would be an external user. They could go into the project, submit their schedule values, submit their pay apps each month, and then you can review it.
Like it. Now, once that's done, I guess how do we actually review their pay apps?
Yeah, so you're going to want to go to the month that you want to review. So let's say I want to look at August. So I can see who's actually submitted it. So I have Pepcore here, so I can click on Pepcore. And then it's going to show me their schedule values and then the actual values that they've submitted across each value.
Okay,
And
sure.
one other thing
Oh,
down here, you can see the activity. So I can see what date they submitted it, when I approved it, and any other kind of activity that's back and forth. So you kind of have that audit trail of when everything happened to related to a specific pay app in a month.
understood. Now, are they gonna have any way to know once it's been approved, or they have to kind of log in and look?
Yeah, so they'll get an email notification, but they can also log in on their end and review it as well. So like I said, this is really meant to kind of streamline that process. You're going to get notifications when your sub submits it, when you approve it yourself will get notifications. So everything to kind of help move that process along, so you're not having to swap, emails with lots of PDFs going back and forth to get that official payout.
Yeah, absolutely. Now how does all this tie back into the data in the accounting system?
Yeah, so what you'll see if I go back to this payables tab here. So let me go back to August. I can see this Pepcore invoice. It has linked to AP number 3. So this is basically the AP invoice that's coming from the accounting system. So if I select this here, it will basically show me all of the different AP invoices related to that vendor that I can select and link it to. The other thing that you can do is if you go up to the settings here, you can turn on this auto linking. And basically what that auto linking will do is we will review all of the AP invoices from your accounting system. And if any of the invoices match across the vendor, the month, and the amount, it will automatically link that pay app to that AP invoice. So it's a really nice way to kind of complete that circle, that once you get that pay app from the sub, and if you say, hey, this looks good, I've approved it, you've uploaded it into the accounting system, it's going to automatically link in ProNovos, so you see that connection. And then the same thing works on the billing side as well. So if you've created a pay app, you've submitted it to your client, they've reviewed it, they've approved it, you've entered it into your accounting system, it will then show the link between the actual invoice and the pay app that you've submitted.
I like it. Oh, I guess that kind of wraps up my questions. Anything else you kind of want to point out within these tools?
No, I mean that's the big ones. We hit on most of it. It's meant to be very straightforward and easy to help you streamline that billing process. Like I said, probably the biggest thing to know is the difference between the invoices and the payouts. So the invoices, all that data coming from the accounting system. The payouts is kind of the precursor to that, the step before you actually have the approved invoice. And then, like I said, you can set up those schedule of values and then bill against each of those line items on each month.
Sure. Oh, we do have a little bit of time left here. If there's nothing else, we can go to questions and
Yeah, sounds great. So it looks like we have a
just
question from Stacy. When will this update be available for use? So it's actually live today. It is not turned on automatically. So reach out to your customer rep, which is Garrett here, and he'll be able to turn it on to you. It will be in the billings and payables module. And then what you'll want to do is turn it on in the permission groups. So let me show you where that is real quick. So if I go to administrator, permission groups, and if I edit a certain role under project, you'll see these two options here for project payables and project billings. And then the option you have here is to turn on either invoices or payouts or both. And then you can do the same thing for billings as well. One other thing I'll call out here is if you do want to invite your subs to log into ProNovos and submit their own payouts, what you can do is create an external pay or permission group. And then when you do that, it's a very limited functionality here. So you can basically control what they have access to. And then on the billings, you can give them either view or create edit access. And same thing, either access to only payouts or to invoices. If you give them access to invoices, they will basically be able to see any invoices where they are listed as the vendor from your accounting system. So up to you whether you want to show them both the invoices and have the ability to submit payouts or just one or the other.
yeah, sounds good. And definitely get that turned on. I'll still got a few minutes here. Anyone else have any questions we can help you out with?
Well, if there's no other questions, maybe I'll just close by saying, Garrett, it's definitely been a focus for us here at ProNovos the last couple months, to really focus more on the billings and payables workflows and construction. So helping you facilitate both the submitting billings to your clients and getting paid, and same thing from your self's perspective. So as you're getting in there and you are using the project billings and payables tools, if there's any ideas you have in terms of how it can make the tool better, we're always interested and we'd love to hear users' feedback related to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it looks like that might be it. So guess we can give everyone a couple of minutes back here, and we thank you for your time, Kevin.
Thanks, Garrett.
Yep, we will see everyone in 2 weeks where we have a power session on change orders. So we haven't discussed those in a while, so it should be a good one.
Nice.
Thanks, all. Enjoy the rest of your week. Appreciate it.
All right, Larry, Garrett.